Uganda, and he is doing the most. Remember last week we were talking about how there have been so many scams out and about, and people were really stressed out. Some people even lost what 10 million, 50 million. It was crazy. But luckily, we have got a financial expert who is also young and happens to be really invested in Uganda's financial climate. And he's a gentleman by the names Okello George Leone. Let's speak to him. Leon, how are you feeling?
Hi Rianne, thanks for having me. This is
Yeah.
like the second time you've interviewed me this year
Interesting.
from another place. So yeah, Okello Leon George. I born and raised in Kampala, though my heritage is in Omoro district. Yeah, formerly Southern Gulu. I grew up in Kampala to Mr. Kenna Godfrey and Jacqueline Musimenta, both who are amazing accountants. My mom is very, very well versed in the finance sector, and my dad is a lawyer and lecturer. So from an early age, I had a lot of love for numbers and finance and accounting, though I had other ways of expressing myself. I went to Green Hill Academy for primary, Bishop Cipriano Chiangire for O-level, and Makerere College School, Proud OB, for A-level. Then I went to MOOBS, also studied at Management and Accountancy Training Institute. Now it's called MAT Abacus, and I'm also pursuing a diploma in Tax and Revenue Administration at East African School of Taxation. In my free time, I'm an all-round creative. I'm an instrumentalist. I love photography and graphical art. I love helping my fellow musicians. I really love music, so most of my passion is in trying to invest in the music industry to sort of build it up to be a little bit more structured. I also have other passions in tech, with my entrepreneurship. I try to use money to push my passion. So I have my Logitech to build websites. I also like cooking and I love Rolexes. So I have a business called Molex
Wow, you
that supplies
seem like
Rolexes.
a really
to
all-round entrepreneur.
Yeah, I figured a lot of people are good at business from being good at one thing, but I wanted to try and see how I could diversify myself and do different stuff.
Oh, okay, that is amazing because you've just told us how both your parents are all-around accountants and maybe one of the best or some of the best in the country. And I was about to ask how you actually got into this field of finance, particularly taxation.
Yeah, so for finance, I got the trade from my mom. She's a management accountant and a financial accountant as well. So I got she used to really train me a lot on how to invest. She'd give me these talks on how to invest and how to save. I never used to listen at first when I was young, so I used to be really bad at saving and spending. But my mom always used to give me these lessons. My dad also used to as well. He's a lecturer, and once he learned how to do tax accounting from URA, he decided to open up his own school to teach young tax professionals in the private sector. So ever since primary, was telling me, you're going to learn tax, you're going to learn tax, you're going to learn tax. So I just believed that I was always going to learn to be in that sector, but I didn't want it to ever hinder my creative interest. So I decided to learn it for the sake of developing the creative sector.
Wow, that is really beautiful. And considering that you've been nurtured from birth, literally, to grow into this field, do you genuinely love it?
Yeah, I do. I love it, especially at the times when it coincides with the stuff I'm doing creatively, like when I'm doing budgets and planning and looking at ways to invest for myself or for my friends and other collectives. It's always fun because you're talking to people you would otherwise really want to meet and hang out with, but then you're showing them the other side
There
of
is more
life.
to
And
you.
yeah,
Yes.
there's more to just doing your creative stuff, but you can make some money out of it too.
Ooh, that is amazing. And okay, there's been a question on our Twitter coming up. So many people were asking after the BLQ and Cairo withdrew from Uganda. It seems like there have been a lot of fintech scams lately, especially surrounding Ponzi schemes. So how do you feel about this? How do you go about this particular notion?
I feel bad because these schemes are targeting people who would otherwise be investing in legitimate investment choices. They're having a lot of their money taken away from them, and it's giving this negative investor sentiment. People are like, there's so many people scamming these days. Let me not look into the proper ways of investing. And somehow that gives into a feedback loop, because when you don't verse yourself well with the financial sector, you're more likely to have less knowledge and more likely to be attacked by even more scammers. So most times people who are scammed are people who are even shunning these other legit investment.
True.
Yes.
And I'm not going to lie, I've personally been scammed before, because during lockdown, you remember there was a whole lot of cryptocurrency talk going about, and I ended up investing into some shit coins. And I came to realize that most of us invest in this not because we're dumb, but because there's lack of awareness or ingenuity in this particular field. So what would you advise a young Ugandan who's looking to invest?
Yeah, I would say in Uganda, if you've probably been scammed by the time you reach 20, it's something that's more like an inevitability, but you just have to reduce the risk of falling in such stuff. Like now when it comes to investment, a simple trick is do your own research. DYOR. So whenever you are going to invest in anything, it is better for you to look into it yourself, other than have people you don't know, strangers, telling you that this is what you do, this is what you do. If you want to invest in Bitcoin, the people are doing it and it's worthwhile. I wouldn't say the market is there right now, but the fact that I know it's not okay right now is because I'm doing my research. So I'm less likely to put my money when the market is down and even lose it. So there are proper ways to invest in things like cryptocurrency, but right now the market, I would say from an honest standpoint, is not so good with the recent collapse of Bitcoin to $20,000, how the Ethereum network is not working. And usually by the time you hear about anything that's concerning investment, you're probably late.
Yes,
especially these things of cryptocurrency and all these scams. If you've heard about it, you're probably the one there. You're the one who is going to lose your money. So most people are acting before the information reaches the masses.
Okay, and most people, we now know that the financial market is controlled mainly by what's happening on the Wall Street, apparently. So according to latest financial reports, the market is collapsing. So how do we go about this? How do we invest even when there seems to be no value that's going to come out of those particular investments?
Yeah, the easy way to think about it is that investing is so much bigger than just buying stocks or buying crypto. It's just basically the act of turning your money into something that is you think will bring back profit in the future. Whether that is stocks or whether that's opening a Rolex stand at a concert is entirely up to you. So you have to research and see, okay, according to my skills, because the people who do stock investing and crypto have knowledge in those fields. You yourself, what do you have knowledge in?
Yes.
And do you think that if you put extra capital, there will be some money coming out of it? You have to broaden your mind. Uganda is a very entrepreneurial country, and a lot of people are entrepreneurs to survive. You have these mothers selling matoke to put their children all the way through school. That is entrepreneurship. That is investing. She's putting in her time and her money. And another thing you need to understand about investment, it's a thing of both money and time. So it's these scammers are most likely going to target the new generation of spending because they like instant gratification.
Yes.
I put my money here, Kagwira, I get it tomorrow. People don't like
that's the goal, really. I mean, lately there's been a lot of pressure on especially young adults to be relevant in the financial spaces, and the spending levels have gone way up. So people are looking for ways in which they can invest money but get it out as fast. So according to you, what's the best advice to go about this? What passive income ideas can youth invest in to get a grip or to really get value for their money?
Well, passively, there are even local stocks that are paying dividends in Uganda right now. There's the Uganda Securities Exchange. There are ways in which you can buy shares, whether you choose to have these stock companies, because they are brokers that help do the selling and buying for you. They can advise you. They normally send you emails that the price is this, the price is this. Now would be a good time to sell. Now would be a good. It's not as developed as the Western world, but there are those options. There are treasury bills and bonds which are issued by the government. If you have a large amount of money, you can buy that, and it's risk-free. The interest rates are usually between 3 and 11%. There's also bank accounts. So these days, bank accounts, the interest that pays out isn't as big as inflation. Last month alone, inflation from September to October was around 10%. So if you have a bank account paying you 6%, you're still losing your money. So you need other ways. Otherwise, business is about opportunity. It is not about there are people who make business by putting in the grind every day, but there's people who look for their opportunity and make it happen. And with the way Uganda's economy is tending towards a more gig-based and event-based economy,
Yes.
I feel like if you have this opportunity to help out in an event, like, let me give you a story of Molex. Molex was a thing whereby it was just a bunch of university students saying, can we make the best Rolex? Yeah, we can. If we can, and it's actually that good, why don't you just sell it? And if you don't have the money to invest, look for an opportunity, look for a way in which you could get your name out, make some sales. We don't sell every day, but we look for opportunities like the Rolex Festival, concerts, events, and people who want the value, we sell to them. It's something that took us around $1 million and 1.5 million to invest, but it's something that's making us a good amount of cash right now. And those are just one of the few things. Moobs has every Friday they have vendors selling things along the walkways. You can sell clothes online, you can sell other stuff. There's also apps like Zeno that will invest for you in money markets and buy for you treasury bonds and all that stuff. I personally save on Zeno a bit of my salary every month. And then you can also invest in skills. People don't think investing in skills is a real thing, but when you pay school fees, that's exactly what you're doing. Yeah. Learn how to do graphics designing. That used to save me a lot when I was still in campus. Learn how to do software development. Learn how to do fashion designing, social media marketing. These are things that are earning young people money. Just invest your time, learn how to do it, get some equipment, and yeah.
Okay. I feel already relieved because I am a young adult, and it's important, I feel, these days to have a side hustle of sorts to keep going, to be able to manage through life. But do you feel like it is necessary for a person in Kampala, or just any young person really, to enroll in a financial institution in order to be successful financially?
Yes, because at some point this game that we are in called capitalism is just won by people who use their money to make more money, and you won't be able to sell every minute or every second. Sometimes you'll sleep, business will be closed, and there'll be times when there's a dry period in between business. So a great way to make income passively is by investing in these they're called financial assets, shares, bonds, bills, all that stuff. So it is a good way to make money passively. Now, like Zeno, I have an investment plan to buy myself something. I won't say what it is, but it costs around 5 million.
It's a safe space. You know, you can.
Yeah, I want to buy an electric bike.
Wow. Are those in Uganda? I mean,
yes,
you've seen the buses.
There's actually a company. We partner with it for some events called ChargeCo.
Ah, yes.
They make electric bikes, and I feel like it's a good way to save the environment and like at least go to work and also save some transport money because things are quite expensive.
True.
So I use Zeno to save for it. I said there's this percentage of my money when salary comes. Before even spending anything, that's the first thing I save for. Then I save for any other stuff I want to save for the future, and then the rest, now that's up to me and God.
Wow.
So Zeno will help you save in different markets, like buying for you treasury bills, bonds, buying for you shares, buying for you trading for you forex on the Ugandan forex exchange markets, and it's licensed by the regulatory bodies that do so. So it's a safe place to put money, and you even see your interest every day increasing as you sit looking at it. You could buy stocks in cheaper. There's really a lot to do. There's a lot of bad things on the internet, but a lot of good things as well.
Yes.
So those are all ways in which you could earn some money passively while you're sleeping, so that you're not stressed.
Okay.
having to deal with just business alone. Business by itself, you need some other diverse ways of making money. So those assets are really helpful.
Well, Title Suffers, I hope you're taking notes because Leon is giving us the tea. Let's have a small musical break. And if you've got any questions, you can hit us up on our socials at Title Radio on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And we shall be asking them right here on Shoot Your Shot. In the meantime, let us listen to the Ugandan stars Cohen JC featuring Axon on the beat coming in with What's Popping. Keep it Title.